Hello and welcome to my knife channel. Well, this is my Gerber bolt action. This is one of the first ones. It's patent pending. You zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah, I got it when they came out. It's been used, as you can see. The difference between this and the ones that they started coming out with later is this coin covering the cap up here is just doesn't have this anymore, and they put kind of the same stuff. They have a little stamping around here saying Gerber or whatever, and this is just shiny. It doesn't say patent pending. Also, the lanyard doesn't have a reinforced eye loop like this one does. All right, let me zoom back a little bit. This was designed by Blackie Collins, and it came out in the 80s. I think I got mine in the early 80s. And what's interesting about it is it's ahead of its time. This bolt action is basically an axis lock. You just got this long bolt back here and a spring back in there. It provides the tension, and that cutout goes up there and locks it in place. When it comes back, it rides on it, and it's kind of dirty in there, but the frame acts as kind of like part of the lock. See, it comes back here and then tink. Yeah, but a pretty nice knife. Let me check over here on the side. Give our measurements here in inches. Now you can sit there and oil them up and use them to flick open one-handed and all this other stuff. I can open it one-handed, but I never had the desire or the need, not once when I had it, to just flick it open. So we got a little bit over a 3-inch cutting edge. It's about 3.3. 78 millimeter. Basically 80 overall if a cop was stopping you. Of course, over in Europe, this would be a locking blade knife and foul penalty. The material in here, I don't remember what it was made out of. I'd like to say Zytel or something like that. It's pretty durable. It doesn't feel like G10, and it's got a lot of nice texture here. This is the way I would open my knife. I would roll it out with my thumb. I never had a desire, like I said, to, flick it open. I don't know why. It always worked well for me like that. When I need my knife, I usually have enough time to open it, within that amount of time. I guess you could grab the blade, but this handle is pretty light and everything, and you could oil it up and mess around with it, but really, like I said, why? Anyways, I wanted to put this version up there because of all the ones I've seen in YouTube, there's not one of these with the shield on it like that, and this is one that's been in use. I've had this my whole life. Didn't buy it off eBay, and it's pretty good. Pretty good work knife. Now, because that's a little bit kind of like awkward to get it open like that, it's not like super fast. After that, Gerber came out. I don't know if that was the reason, but Gerber came out with the, and this predates the axis lock that Benchmade had. This predates this. So, people get all bent out of shape like Benchmade invented the axis lock. All they did was basically take that spring down there and compress it, make it, into like an omega spring instead of that. You're just changing the way the mechanism operates, but you're still using the same principle of interfering in there. Anyways, just like this looks like a lot like a spider hole, but it's not. It's one of those little ovals, kind of like the way bird which is a offshoot brand of our budget brand of Spyderco, uses. This one is called the Easy Out, and it's an ATS 34, which was a big thing back then. It's one of those partial serrated and partial, and this one again I've used a lot. All right, this one came with a clip too. That's another thing. It's non-interchangeable or anything like that, but mainly, like I said, this one was the one I used a lot. And the only disadvantage was, I believe it came with a nylon pouch when I originally had it, but I usually didn't carry it that way. I just dropped it in my pocket. With this one, I started, like I said, it had the advantage of what you're seeing like with modern flippers and stuff. It has a one-handed opening that is pretty easy to access. It's like ambidextrous in this case. Still is a backlock knife, but has a half stop on it too. It's kind of unusual. And a clip, non-interchangeable, tip down, but it works well. This pebble-like texture here, this is actually a better grippy texture on the bolt action than this. This is kind of a, I don't know, alligator, snake skin. Not really snake skin. Some kind of like pebble surface, but it really offers almost no texture to it. Feels just like smooth G10 basically. But yeah, two very, very good knives, and of course they're outdated nowadays. You can get better things. I don't remember what they used for their steel, but it's just like stainless, some kind of stainless on this one. And this one, of course, it said ATS 34. Yeah, so this is back when they were made in USA, and this was actually says like Portland, Oregon. So, Portland, Oregon, USA. Pretty good knives, like I said. I've used them quite a bit, and if you can find any, I think a lot of them are going like for, when you can find them, they're like $50. And I don't know, you'd really have to be into the nostalgia for that, you know, because for $50 you could get a Civivi. It's got a flipper. This one doesn't have, you know, interchangeable or anything, and this was more than $50. But still, all I'm saying is, a flipper is easier to open than that odd eyeball cutout. And what's strange about this eyeball cutout here is I always thought about the convenience of how easy it was to open, but when Spyderco came out, just the look of that big round hole, I was like, ew, that just makes the blade look so ugly, that big hump. And then the first time I used a Spyderco Delica, put it in my hand, and my thumb just fit in there naturally. This one, it does it, but you can see you're engaging on either side. And like I said, the bolt action doesn't even have that. Didn't come with a nail nick or anything. Like I said, a lot of times people would oil up their action, get it to where they could flick the blade out and stuff, but I never had the need to do that. Like I said, it was never high on my list of things I got to do with my knife. It's like, oh man, this would be a good knife, but if I could just flick it open with one hand, it'd be perfect. Never crossed my mind. Now it does a little bit. It's like, I'm not going to oil it up. I mean, I'm going to oil it up just to maintain it, but I'm not using it anymore. I just set it aside. This is the most life it's going to get now, is on YouTube. All right, well, let's do something. Let's do one cut for it right here. I haven't sharpened this thing since I used it, and this was before I really knew a whole lot about sharpening. But it still works on wood. And let's see if we can find some cardboard here. See how well I kept my edges. I was not necessarily super good with, oh yeah, it needs some sharpening. I mean, it'll cut. That was just a draw cut, but you could see, I mean a push cut, you could see it. It's got some issues. I haven't stropped it or anything, like I said before I got it. The blade is not as wickedly abused as much as I used it. I'm surprised. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm not getting any new knives anytime soon, and I've showed these off before, but I don't think I've gone in depth on this bolt action guy. And Black & Collins design, one of the great knife designers from back in the day. So thanks for watching. Taking a little blast in the past. We didn't go completely back to dinosaur era, but we went pretty far back. A couple of dinosaurs were broken out here. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.